Hi everyone, this is Mohamed Morsy from FrontierZero, and today we're going to talk about the device code authentication flow in Microsoft 365. What is it and how can it be abused? And stay tuned for a live demo at the end of the video. Now, it's important to understand that some devices, such as your TV, your Xbox, or your IoT device, that would require signing in with Microsoft account, it's very difficult to enter your username, password, and MFA code into these devices. And for that reason, we have the device code authentication flow. Now, this device code authentication flow, it's a feature. It's not a bug. It's not a vulnerability, but it certainly can be abused to take over Microsoft accounts. Right. Now, in the normal flow of how this flow works is your device, could be the TV, your Xbox, or your IoT device, as we mentioned, is going to communicate with Microsoft servers and ask for a code that's very small and can be copied. And then you're going to be able to see this code on your TV screen, and you'll use it to authenticate Microsoft device login page. Now, once you enter this code and you have successfully authenticated, Microsoft is going to generate a token and send it to your device. Now, that device can impersonate you as a user, and now you're signed in into that device without having to enter your username and password into the device and MFA code. Now, this is the normal flow. This is the legitimate flow. How can this be abused is if I replace the device with the attacker. The attacker is going to say, okay, I am the device, and is going to contact Microsoft and say, please give me a code so I can send it to the user. Once the code is generated, it's going to be sent to the user. Now, this could be sent over email as a phishing email, or it could be sent over text or any other medium. Now, the user is going to see two things. They're going to see the Microsoft legitimate login page, and they're going to see a very seemingly innocent code. And they're going to enter the code into the Microsoft device login page. Once that happens, Microsoft will give the same token to the attacker, and the attacker would now have full access to the user's Microsoft 365 account without having to use MFA, without having to bypass any other security measures. Now, what's interesting also about this is this type of access is permanent and is persistent, and the attacker could keep refreshing and asking for more tokens from Microsoft, so he can stay indefinitely in the user account, and the user is none the wiser. The emails that are sent from the attacker to the user could look something like this. It would tell you there's some document that you need to access, or an identity verification. As you can see, the MO is clear. There you have the code here. And you have the link that says continue to Microsoft. You could also be sometimes seeing the code expiration timer, which is a timer set by a person who sent it, because the code actually expires after some time. And that's why you will see the sense of urgency into the email that was sent. All right, now to the live demo. This is super scary. I literally managed to vibe code this in 10 minutes. So you can imagine with some automation, some AI integration, how can this be used at scale? And it is being used at scale nowadays. Now, on the left, I have the attacker view. This is the attacker view. The attacker view is going to start his own malicious script. Now, it is going to run the script. And what's going to happen is that I have two things here, the code and the Microsoft legitimate login page. I'm going to send these to the user. What's going to happen, I am going to take this link, I'm going to paste it. Now here, the browser, this is the user's view. I have received the code. Okay, this is the code. I'm also going to paste the code and click next. It's going to authenticate the user. It's going to tell me which user do you want to authenticate to Microsoft as. Now I have the user here, and it's going to tell me, are you sure you want to Microsoft sign into the Azure CLI? Now again, this is legitimate Microsoft application, but the person who's going to be in control is not you. It's not the Microsoft Azure CLI, but it is the actual attacker here on the left. Once I click continue, and you notice how easy this is, now the attacker completely has access to my account. He got the token that would get information on the user ID, the username, the roles that I have, and then it can further extend their access into reading the files, the emails, and so on. And the user will just see this and just close the page as if nothing happens. Now, how can I mitigate this? First of all, you can disable this kind of flow on the organization level for Microsoft. However, this could disrupt some devices that were already signed in. So it's important to understand from your organization if you're using this flow or not. Now, the second best thing is to monitor for these activities and take action promptly. When it comes to the monitoring aspect at FrontierZero, we we have a built-in rules around this kind of behavior or attack. And once this triggers, it's going to trigger an incident. Now, the incident here, it gives you way more context than it would normally, you'll normally be able to see. The incident will have more information on what's the rule that created it, what time, who the responsible person, like the related entity in this organization. I can see more information on that identity that actually have created this, and I can see that he's from accounting. Now, as we discussed, there will be some people who can actually use this in a legitimate setting, such as developers or DevOps engineers or software engineers sometimes. However, I can see here that Bob is from accounting. And this, by the way, is part of our identity enriched incidents and login activities. Now I can see that he's from accounting. I can very quickly investigate Bob's actions and activities and see where do they come from, what kind of information he accessed before and after the incident, and especially if the location come from different countries or if he has any suspicious attributes. I can monitor it from here. Now, once I'm confident that this person, and I am confident in this case that this person should not be using this, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to cut off this access by the attacker, and I'm going to take an action from here. So I right click, force user logout. Now this is going to force logout all of the sessions for that specific user on Microsoft 365. Now, once I confirm, notice on the left that the attacker's session is now disrupted, and now he can no longer generate more tokens. So now I have kicked the attacker out of that user's account, and of course everything is audited and the activity is tracked of who did what within the incident. Now I can write an incident report and show that we have responded to that incident in a timely manner and communicate with the user and further investigate the email that he received. And of course, don't forget the employee cybersecurity awareness training. Thank you so much for tuning in.